Welcome back to Brown Girl Blue. My name is Tabitha, and this is my little book of childhood Jehovah's Witness memories. Today I'm going to talk about birthdays, or the lack thereof. So, growing up as a kid in the Jehovah's Witness religion, birthdays were not celebrated. Birthdays were barely even acknowledged. What's so interesting is that there was so much focus on not celebrating birthdays and making a point that we do not celebrate birthdays. Now, there is a reason for this, is based on the Jehovah's Witness interpretation of a Bible story. I don't know all of it in detail anymore. I'm sure that you do to some regards. But basically, there was some king, I believe, and his wife or concubine or someone had asked, what does she want as honor of his birthday, and she asked for the head of John the Baptist, I believe it was. I don't really remember. It was someone in the Bible, and so he had that person's head. Had them, he was pretty much had him, his head removed from his body, and that was the reason why Jehovah's Witnesses don't celebrate birthdays, because they said that birthdays bring death and destruction, based on that interpretation of that particular scripture. So it was a big no-no for witnesses to not celebrate their own birthday, their children's birthday, or even acknowledge anyone else's birthday. So when I was in school, and if someone was having a birthday party, you guessed it, I was not allowed to participate with that. That means there was no cake for me, no ice cream, and I could not participate in any of the celebration. In fact, I had to leave the area and go somewhere else, and usually it was to the library or some corner of the room and read a book or something, or work on some homework. So birthdays were definitely a huge no-no growing up in that culture. What was really interesting, though, is even though birthdays were considered bad, death was considered something to be honored. So an almost Christmas-like celebration for Jehovah's Witnesses is a celebration of the death of Jesus. They call it Memorial Day, or the Passover. And they, I think it was right before Easter, around the time they used the Jewish calendar to mark the date when to do it. And they call it Memorial Service, or the Memorial. And they publish leaflets and little invitation cards for witnesses to pass out to their co-workers, to their associates who are not part of the Jehovah's Witness organization. It's time to reach out to those who may have been disassociated or disfellowshipped. They reach out to them to make sure they come to the memorial, and that's a big deal. It's held in the evening. It's a service. They do a communion like. It's Passover, so they have the unleavened bread and the glass of wine that they pass to each other, and that is an honored event, and it's a lot of time that's placed on that. Is something that is valued very highly amongst Jehovah's Witnesses. So they honor that particular event, but not birthdays. So they consider birthdays to be pagan, as something that Jehovah's Witnesses should not indulge in. But as far as when it comes to celebrating the death of Christ, that's something that's a pretty significant, important event in their culture. Another thing is the fascination or the fixation on this world ending. So bringing about the great war between good and evil. Quite often I was growing up, my parents would often say, "Oh goodness, we can't wait till this old system ends and the new system comes in." Meaning, interpretation that everything in this world will be destroyed and wiped away, except for the few Jehovah's Witnesses who have limited technical skills to be able to rebuild anything, because they don't believe in doing advanced education to learn various technical skills to actually make the world run as we know it. So their idea was that everyone will be destroyed except for those select few. So often heard about just can't wait till we all just, till everyone just dies, so we can get on about and bringing on God's new system onto this world. So a lot of emphasis on destruction, a lot of emphasis on the things in this world passing away, so that the new world could come, but not a whole lot of interest in celebrating life. Now, they would do baby showers or wedding anniversaries. All those kind of things were allowed, with limits. But as far as celebrating the individual or just celebrating that we're so glad you were born, that was not allowed at all. But anything in regards to the celebration of the death of Jesus, or just wanting this world to end and destruction and fire and complete chaos, that was something that I was encouraged to be happy about. To be happy of, if I was having an issue, any kind of, just life problem, the idea was, well, don't worry, soon this world will be over and you don't have to deal with that anymore. So very interesting to be in a culture that did not celebrate individual life, but was really focused on mass destruction, regarding to the things of this world and wanting this world to just be done away with so that a new and improved system could be ushered in. So growing up, I never had anyone saying happy birthday to me. And in the scheme of things, it's not a big deal. There are a lot of cultures, I'm sure, that don't do that. But it was just a big emphasis on making a point that we do not celebrate birthdays, and this is why. And to be told that horrific story of why we don't celebrate because someone was hurt really bad on someone else's birthday, and that's what they wanted for their birthday. So that's why we don't celebrate birthdays. And also just to be in a position of feeling, once again, being put in a place of isolation and to be removed from just society and society culture, so that you were making a stand on the subject of birthdays. That's not something I can celebrate because of that's not something I can participate in because of my religion. So birthdays good, and birthdays bad, and death was considered good, or something that should be honored, and actually not just only honored, but actually looking forward to it. So that was my experience with birthdays. Didn't celebrate them, didn't have one. When I became an adult, I got a little bit older, I started to celebrate my birthday, but it was a slow introduction because I was so used to not even thinking about my birthday. So it just appeared to be a foreign idea, because it just wasn't something that I did, or something was never done for me. Even in school, when a teacher knew it was my birthday, they knew they couldn't say anything to me. They couldn't give a little special in-class party, because they know that was something my parents made very clear, that I was not allowed to participate in any kind of celebration like that. So I guess when I was an adult, started celebrating my birthday, got more and more, used to the idea of like, okay, this is okay. I can celebrate, of being happy that I was born and that I'm here and celebrating another year of life. So definitely was able to start doing that and enjoying it. But still now, even on my birthday, it still feels weird or odd to celebrate it, because I still have that kind of tradition still etched in my brain somewhere. But it gets better. But definitely when it's something like that, that's part of your childhood development, it can be a bit challenging to break away from that. So that's my memory today. Just under the impression that birthdays were horrible and evil and pagan, and we shouldn't even think about celebrating your birthday or anyone else's. But when it comes to looking at things where destruction of the world or mass destruction of people, that's something to actually be excited about, because that means that this old world that we're living in is passing away, and pretty soon a whole new system will be here, and then we can be happy, and not until then. Also, those of you who were raised up in the Jehovah's Witness religion, if you wouldn't mind, share some of your lack of birthday stories and what some of the things that you were told about birthdays. And if I totally got this story wrong, please correct me in the comments. Again, I just remember it was a Bible story about someone who had asked what did she want for her birthday. I think it was the king's wife or whoever that was in the king's realm. And then she asked for someone to be hurt, and that was kind of the basis of why witnesses were not allowed to celebrate it. But you remember something else, please let me know in the chat. And also, please feel free to share your experiences about birthdays and also any memories about memorial service and how that was a really honored event and people got really excited about it. I mean, it was a somber event, but people were excited to go. Like it was like Easter. It was a big deal. It was a big deal. And also, you remember the stories about the old world passing and having that excited feeling of can't wait till this world ends and waiting for the new system, for a new world to come in and take the place of this old world, and then we'll be truly happy. So let me know if you remember any of that. I would really like to hear what you remember. So that's my memory for today. Another unlocked memory for my little book of childhood Jehovah's Witness memories. So this is Brown Girl Blue. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.